Hey, and welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show. Well, we're on our journey to 250,000 subscribers. Look, there is nothing, as far as I'm concerned, that is more important than holding Donald Trump accountable for his dirty deeds. And yesterday, there was a new filing from Matt Colangelo of the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. And I want to go over it. I want to read it to you, and then I want to give you my reaction to this. This, of course, went to Judge Juan Merchan. And it says, Dear Justice Merchan, defendant's August 29, 2024 letter motion, which sought a stay of all proceedings based on a second notice of removal he filed with the United States District Court for the Southern District of New York. On August 30th, defendant's notice of removal was rejected by the federal court as deficient for having been filed without leave of that court. This morning, defendant, and remember, defendant here is Donald Trump, filed a notice of motion and motioned for leave to file his removal notice. This afternoon, the district court denied defendant's motion for leave to file. That order and opinion is attached. Because there is no pending notice of motion with the federal court, there is no basis for the relief sought in defendant's August 29th letter motion. All right, there's so much for us to unpack here. It's juicy stuff. They're asking in that 29th motion, the August 29th motion, that the September 18th sentencing hearing either be transferred to the Southern District of New York, which federal judge Alvin K. Hellerstein denied once more and denied a second time. But they're also saying that they were deficient in their filing of the papers. Nevertheless, the district court turned around and denied their request for either the delay of the September 18th sentencing date or to transfer it to the Southern District of New York, or to dismiss it in its entirety. All three rejected. Why is this important? Because there's a topic that is constantly going on mainstream media that you're hearing. Oh, what's going to happen on September 18th? As if any of these pundits have a crystal ball and that they know what Judge Juan Merchan is going to do. Now, of course, I have a little bit of a better insight into this. Why? Well, because I was there, because I'm the one who testified for 25 hours as the key witness in this case. And I've been saying all along, that Judge Juan Merchan was not going to allow this case to be delayed any further. In fact, he turned around and he had said once previously that this case is now marked in stone. Unless there's some crazy exigent circumstance, this case is going forward. Why is this all important? Because as you know, there were initially 4 indictments. This case, which people refer to as the hush money case. You have the Atlanta, Georgia, the Fani Willis case of the attempt to overturn a free and fair election. You have the January 6th insurrection case. And then you have, of course, the Florida, the Mar-a-Lago documents case, the taking of the top secret documents and refusal by Trump to return it. 4 indictments. Forgetting about the fact that it's unprecedented in United States history that a president or a former president was indicted even once, let alone placed on trial, let alone convicted, 34 counts. This is unprecedented. And now Judge Juan Merchan has the daunting task of determining what is to happen on September 18th. What we're hearing right now from this motion letter, and I know it's short, is that first and foremost, that defense counsel failed to properly file. Regardless, denied, and that this case, now that there is no pending motion to delay the September 18th hearing, the sentencing, it's going forward. So we could all now sort of pontificate in terms of What will Judge Juan Merchan decide? And I'm going to give you my opinion on that too, because I think one goes hand in hand with the other. You can't listen to the beginning of this without understanding what the finality is. And I brought up the previous other indictments, and now, of course, there's a superseding indictment, but I brought them up to prove a point that Donald Trump, on September 18th, it will be sealed in the history books that Donald Trump not only has been convicted of the 34 counts in that case, but that he is also held accountable and that he is sentenced. We already know that he's a felon, but now he will be sentenced. That's what's important here, the accountability aspect, because it demonstrates that no one, not a president, not a former president, despite the Supreme Court's recent ruling, is above the law. Why, again, is this important? Because we are going into an election unprecedented in history, one where one candidate, Kamala Harris, is about inclusion and opportunity and unity for all Americans, whereas the other one, by Donald Trump, is divisive. There's nothing but hate rhetoric, and it's all about autocracy. What can he get out of the presidency for himself, whether it's retribution or financial benefit? That's the question that now Judge Juan Merchan is going to have in the back of his mind as he deals with this daunting task of what to do with a former president. Can you put him into Rikers Island? Remember, this is a state, not a federal case. You throw him into Rikers Island? If so, how does that affect his Secret Service protection? He's still entitled to it. So does that mean that they're going to have Secret Service protection for him doing whatever the sentence is with Donald? There's other aspects to this that should be equally concerning to you. And that is the fact that Donald Trump right now, as the Republican candidate, is briefed on a daily basis of secrets, of top secret information by the FBI, by Secret Service, by the US government. They do that. It is a courtesy so that if by chance the opponent wins, that he is caught up in terms for at least 60, 90 days on what is happening in this country. Otherwise, being president would put you back at least a good solid week. But there's a danger here too. In being so proper with Donald Trump, you open up the door, especially in a loss, for Donald Trump to provide that information to our adversaries. He would be willing to speak about it in a prison situation, literally for a bag of tuna or for a book of stamps. He doesn't care about America. He doesn't care about the American people. He cares about himself and himself only. And this document, this very short Matt Colangelo document, sets this all in motion for what is going to happen on September 18th. And I predict, and I've been pretty good with my predictions so far, I think you must all acknowledge that. I predict that Merchan will sentence him, and it will be a very, very significant home confinement scenario. Not one that Donald Trump wants to deal with, I can assure you. Not one where he's out playing golf or cohorting with people around Mar-a-Lago or his other country clubs, eating burgers and knocking down ice creams like it's going out of style. No, it will be into a residence, and he will not have access to phones without being monitored. He will not have access to computer. He will not have people coming and going unless it is approved by the Bureau of Prisons, by the Department of Justice. And that, my friends, is what is called accountability. And that is exactly what September 18th is going to bring. Why we want any of this chaos, this nonsense in our lives, I don't know. I certainly don't. and I'm certain that you don't either. And it's why I will end this episode, as I do all, by saying make sure that you vote blue, make sure that you vote Harris Walz in 2024. Hey everyone, first of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.